Parker. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with KP. And I'm delighted because I have a couple guests with me today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hey, well, first of all, Kelly, thank you for having us today. My name is Natasha. I am one of the founders of BLOC, Black Ladies of Construction, is what BLOC stands for. And we are all the way in ATL here from New Jersey. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I am a co-owner of the BLOC, Black Ladies of Construction. Again, thank you for having us. I am a real estate attorney and also a real estate investor.
Okay, nice. Can't have a better business partner than an attorney.
Right.
If y'all going down, you're going down for something big.
Right, exactly. She keep
Not
us
on my watch.
Yeah, she definitely keep us in check.
All right. So, you did state you guys are down here in Atlanta from New Jersey. Tell me why you're here in Atlanta.
Yeah. So we're here in Atlanta because we're looking to expand outside of New Jersey. We are a network and a collective of women of color and teaching women of color how to invest and get into real estate. And as we've been continuing to share our journey, we've been getting a lot of interest from women here. So we're like, listen, we're going to come down to Atlanta. We're going to host an event, kind of do like an intro mixer to just tell them more about us, get that one-on-one experience and see how they feel, how we feel, and whether or not we can connect and really just build business out here.
Okay. Being that you came to Atlanta and pushed this event, do you see yourself doing this in other markets? And if so, how soon do you plan to do that?
Absolutely. So we're doing some partnerships in Detroit. We just got some funding came down for us to do some things in Chicago for one of our partners that we already get funding from in New Jersey. So definitely expanding. As we keep going into the conversation, you will hear me talk about finding that grant money. Sure. So listen, if I can keep finding grant money and opportunities to be able to put our people on, we're going where the money at.
And we definitely need to understand what grant money is and how to get it, because a lot of us lack that, of course, education when it comes to grant money. We hear about it, but we don't delve and dive in it. So how long have you been a real estate attorney?
Wow. So I've been an attorney in general for over 20 years and focusing on real estate probably for the last 15 plus years.
Okay.
My background is I started in private practice with other attorneys. I spent some time at an insurance company, worked for a municipality. But I've always had a passion for real estate. So when I decided to branch out on my own, I opened up my own practice, and it was really mainly to focus on real estate.
Okay, that's beautiful. And how can people get in touch with you guys before we go any further?
Well, they can follow us on social media, the BLOC Society. It's BLOC, not with a K, BLOC Society on Instagram and TikTok. And for my personal, it's Nat Davis, NATDAVIS 18.
And you can find me on Instagram at nprisock.esq. That's NPRISOCK.ESQ.
Okay. Well, you said
and
that.
Esquire.
Yeah, Esquire. That's a weird last name, but I get it.
Right.
Okay, go. So what are you guys working on that you care to share with everyone? I know it's some things you guys don't want to share right now.
Yeah, we're working on a few things. Well, first, we're building out our platform. And like I said, we're expanding into different areas. And we're kind of going through a relaunch and a rebrand because we're focusing on getting into the affordable housing space. In addition to us having our for-profit, which is the development company, because I didn't add that I was a licensed general contractor and nationally certified construction trainer. Got to put that plug in. But we are now also going into the affordable housing and education space for trying to build more people in the construction space. So that is really where our focus is. And we've been doing a lot of flips, rehabs, and we're now trying to really get our people into the new construction space, but also, again, the affordable housing.
Yeah. Speaking of affordable housing, I know that's where a lot of the grants come into play, right? Can you express the importance of understanding grants, especially if you want to get into the affordable housing market? Because some people think, I can't afford to build for this price per square foot and sell it affordably to this price point without the help of grants.
Right.
So
there's grants, and of course the funding is different in different states. So there are grants that are available, especially in New Jersey, for affordable housing. One, you have the opportunity to get those tax credits, but what you're doing is you're working with the state to be able to provide the affordable housing to those who can be able to get in at that price point. So really, it's still an investment opportunity because your investment is more on the development side than it is on the selling side.
Right.
So although you're not able to sell it at market rate, you're still able to get the return on your investment is needed because we're focusing more on the development and getting the funds to do that development. And now we can afford to sell it at those lower rates.
That's what it all boils down to. And I know that as a developer myself, that you have to make your money as a developer during the process, not when it's sold.
Right.
Because you got to look at it from a developer standpoint, not an investor standpoint. Investor, yeah, you can tie your money up and go do something else. But a developer, if you're waiting on this property that you're taking from 0 to 100 to be completed, listed, sold, closed,
right,
then, that's a long time.
It is.
But during the process of developing, you can put your fee into every draw of the process and recoup your money for your time that way. So that's definitely a great way to reach a lot of people who may want to get into this affordable housing space.
Absolutely.
Because we had a couple calls with Invest Atlanta and discussed some opportunities that they may have for us and any other GC that comes along and want to create some affordable housing because it's so much needed.
Yeah.
With this huge home shortage in America.
Right.
And I'm gonna just be honest, affordable housing isn't as affordable as most people
No,
think.
it's not.
Right?
It's not.
Just because we get a grant to help build a house, you may need a grant or some assistance to acquire this house to still make it affordable because of everything that we're faced with since the pandemic.
Yeah. And that's what we want to do as well. So what we kind of look at it from a perspective of each area of how we can look to find these funds and what funds are stackable, because you may have somewhere you can't even blend the two funds together. So we're looking at it from a space of the funds that are available for the developers and the funds that are available for those that are trying to get into the affordable, like trying to purchase the home. Because some of us, although most of us are licensed as an agent in that capacity, we don't work in that capacity,
Right.
But we still want to be able to offer maybe some first-time home ownership opportunities and just the discussion of being able to tell our community that we're serving how they can find those funds to be able to afford housing. Because like you said, the market right now, whether we're trying to place it at an affordable rate, it still just may put them in a position where they can't afford. So how do we now really get our people in a space where they have the resources, the tools, the education, and we're finding the money to make sure that they can get into these homes. And what you don't want is people to get in the house and to be house poor, right? Because now they're in the house and they feel like they've gotten the dream, but they're struggling. And the dream just isn't as happy as it should be when you're now in your first space. So
Absolutely.
we're trying to make sure that we can, dot all I's and cross all T's.
and it's important because truly there is a housing crisis in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And in my private practice, I see so many clients who come to me. They're the first time home buyers in their family. And unfortunately, what happens a lot of times, the lenders haven't vetted properly. So we get, halfway, 3/4 of the way into the process, and they're told that, well, you don't qualify because you have somebody who can co-sign.
Right.
So oftentimes I have clients who are getting parents or siblings or uncles or aunts or family friends who are co-signing for them just to be able to afford a house. And we're talking about a 2-income household.
Yeah.
So absolutely what we're doing is so critical to addressing the issue because it's prevalent, not just in the country, but in our communities.
Right. And just like an investor needs 3 things to be successful in real estate, you're going to need pretty much these same 3 things to be a successful homeowner.
Absolutely.
And those 3 things are education, cash capital, and credit.
Yep.
Right. But in the investor standpoint, if you have one of those 3, you can find the other 2.
Mm.
Like if I got the capital, I can find someone with the credit
Right.
or with the education. I can go find KP or Gene or you guys, right? Not with the homeowner situation. You got to jump through a whole lot more hoops to be a homeowner than you do to be an investor.
Right.
It does.
That's why it's easier for an investment LLC to acquire real estate
Right.
than an individual person. One, they're asset-based loans that they want to be using typically.
Right.
But when it comes to homeowner, you putting yourself on the line for this piece of real estate.
Right.
So that's very important for anyone out there looking to buy real estate. get your ducks in a row. Start working on your credit. Save your little capital if you can. And of course, get educated. You got to get educated. And you guys have been expressing a lot of education in multi-states now.
Yeah.
So what all states are you guys currently working in?
So we are in Jersey, we're in Pennsylvania, we're in South Carolina, and we are already in the process of the expansion into Detroit, Chicago, and now we're here in the A.
Yeah. Atlanta's a little different than all those.
Yeah.
One is Wakanda. Like this is where you come to get inspired for
Right.
people like us.
Mm-hmm.
And those other markets, they're turning over a lot slower than Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta's like this, 1,500 people move here a week.
Mm.
So they're not doing that in those other markets. So it's so fast paced here that you can be blinded by the success that you have in Atlanta and think you can get it in other places.
Right.
I mean, we build in Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Texas, and of course Georgia and Alabama. So pretty much the Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And being that we've been doing this, and I'm talking Gene and myself, for over 20 years combined. I've been doing it over 10. He's been doing it over 15 or 17. Because I think he started with 7 right before the crash or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing this so long, and we started from here. So our success isn't like today's success.
Mm-hmm.
It was really this. Right? So with us being able to learn how to correct our mistakes and learn from them, it allowed us to be able to educate others as well, because they're going to run into similar mistakes. But if you haven't fallen, then you're not going to know how to get up.
Right.
I always tell people this, and if you watch my podcast, and you done heard me say this a dozen times. I grew up in a MapQuest mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Today's people have GPS mentality.
Mm.
Our parents and grandparents grew up with a map mentality. The ones before that probably used the stars.
Right.
So when I say that, I mean our parents grew up and they had to figure out how to get it. Like there's no internet. They had to go, I gotta make a left home lane. I gotta do this. Go down here and turn by this oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ever got lost, they were able to find themselves back on the path to get to where they needed. We grew up on MapQuest. So we printed our directions, but at least we had them printed.
Yeah.
If we failed, then we could look at this and be like, now I know what I need to do. I see where I messed up. I need to go back and do this. Right? Today, GPS, y'all put this address here and I don't remember how you got here.
Right.
That's how people put success in today. They look at it and be like, I want to be wealthy. I want to be successful. I want to be this, but don't know any steps to get there. So if they ever fail going down that journey, then that's it. Because they haven't driven that road before. They haven't been down that path, so they don't know how to correct it. But us as older individuals, we understand like, hey, I messed up back then when I lost that 50 on that house. What did I do wrong? And you contemplate. But if you get quick money from being a social media influencer or stumble upon a lot of money and you lose it, that's it. Because you don't know how to get it back, because that was 1 in a million situation. So that's why I educate, don't use it. It's painful. Feel free to use it, because we need to understand that this education is the most important thing that you can acquire right now.
Right.
And regardless of what you pay for it or how you get it delivered to you, it's needed. Because if I could avoid a mistake based on someone else's mistake and documentation of it, then I save myself a lot of money, save myself a lot of time. Because we have people join our program and be like, I lost $30,000 on my first house. I lost $60,000, I lost $50,000. A GC ran off with deposit. Yeah. What did you learn from it? Don't give people money. Okay, is it worth $30,000? Hell no, it's not worth $30,000 to understand don't give people money. But how could I know what I'm paying for and being able to know that I paid them too much to perform something? You've been a GC, it's great. You understand the process of construction and what it typically costs in a certain day of time. Most people don't.
Yeah.
So that's why we created our platform. Like, okay, you want to build? This is the prices. This is what material costs. This is what you should be paying for labor. Call around for surveys and do all this stuff that people don't think about. Right. And they're intimidated because they lack the information, not ambition, They just lack the information to get to the next level. And once we instill this information, we instill this confidence. And now they think they can do it, which they really can. They just have to understand the process and the steps. Back to that map question.
Right. So, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to use
Say Rita.
That's fine. That's fine. Say KP said.
Right.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people don't use it, but it took me to like, damn, I used to go to FAMU. I went to Florida A&M University, the Florida A&M University, and tell us the greatest. And coming home when I was a freshman, I used to have print directions with MapQuest before GPS. I'm pretty old.
Don't say that, because I'm sure we're probably around the same age.
I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
But me printing those directions, it gave me that confidence.
Yeah.
That I could go down this road. And if I get lost, I can do that again. But, like I said, our parents created the possibilities of this with MapQuest and showing us in the first place how to get down there. So GPS, man, we got to quit people thought process of their GPS thought process. Like it doesn't help. It doesn't work.
But I think that's part of the problem with, and I don't want to pick on any particular generation, but just today, most people are looking for the quick way. They're not interested in learning so they can repeat it because they just want to get there and figuring once I get there, I'm there. Right. Not realizing that anything can happen. Just as fast as you got there, you can get back to where you started. And if, like you said, if you don't have that map or that list of how you actually got there to see where you made your mistakes, then you're definitely going to repeat it again, trying to get back to where you are. So I think that's one of the issues that we have in society today, or with the younger generation, is that they really don't care about how they got there.
Instant gratification.
Gratification. And it's not so much even the younger generation that I'm talking about. It's the thought process that a lot of people are using.
True. Very true.
That not picking on all my partners and stuff that sold drugs, but they wanted the quick money. So they didn't take the time out to learn a trade or learn how to get money and save and properly use funds or whatnot. So it's just the entire thought process, because everything we do starts in our mind.
Right.
These chairs would start and so on in the mind first, and then they were developed into something we could actually use. One of my favorite lines from one of my favorite movies is, "It exists in your mind, Goldmouth. That's where it all starts."
What movie?
Eddie Murphy told Life that when he told him, ain't no damn boom boom.
Right.
So he told Goldmouth, listen, it exists in your mind. And I was like, that's where it started. He started his whole club in his mind.
In his mind.
And then he convinced everybody to come party. They was in there. So it's just, that's where it all started.
That's funny. That's one of my favorite movies.
Life, I love it.
And not to get off subjects, but Life was a depressing movie, but it showed you the mindset and helped them get through so much.
Yeah.
Like even painting pictures of getting out one day.
Yeah.
So it's a great movie with a lot of, like they say Life was actually Harlem Nights Part 2 because of some of the references they made. Like, and quick question, not to get off subject, but since we're already here, do you guys know who played, I think his name is Stanky Johnson or whatever? The guy that they ran the dope for. I mean the hooch. They went to get the hooch for.
No.
That was Rick James.
No, it wasn't.
That was Rick James.
No.
Go look at it.
Really?
That was Rick James.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, now I have to look that one. I have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. Now we can get back on something. So, what do you guys plan, since this will be aired when you're no longer in Atlanta? What are your plans for Atlanta based on what you've accomplished since you've been here?
So we are right now taking inquiries for women that are interested in joining. I know we say that we do offer it to men as well, and we do, but really,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, the nigga comes to y'all, right? I'm a girl's girl, so I gotta,
Honestly, our best students are females. I don't care who watches.
Yeah.
I don't know who y'all are.
So
Women attention to detail is just impeccable.
right, so we have gotten, what we want to do now is we want to take back the just the inquiries that we received and just start making those relationships and building on those connections. What we do is we do a one-on-one with everyone and kind of understand what their goals are. So we're not one of those organizations where just everyone comes. We want to make sure that we can be able to provide a good service to you. So we'll do a one-on-one, talk to them, see what their goals, if it aligns with what our overall business structure is, then we can talk about next steps for them.
Perfect.
And so that's what we're going to do. The relationships that we're making here, some of the women that we met, that will be the next steps. And let's go from there.
And then also see if there's any opportunities to do some joint ventures
Absolutely.
and invest here.
Yeah.
Definitely. We got some big stuff going, and we had to sign some NDAs, so we can't let it out yet.
Right.
But we definitely going to be needing some partners in multiple states.
Okay, good stuff.
Sounds good.
So make sure y'all call us.
Most
Right?
definitely.
And call Natalie to help with all of them NDAs. Because I feel like, Natalie, did you send that NDA? She's like, I'm on it. I took care of that for
Of
you.
You get that
course.
egg for you.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. Nat, don't play about that. She keeps us in check. Yeah.
Well, I thank y'all for coming on. If you don't mind sharing, how can people follow you guys and get in touch with you?
Thank you for having us. So yes, again, follow us at the BLOC Society at Gmail. Looking for the Gmail. The BLOC Society on Instagram. BLOC, Black Ladies of Construction. We are on Instagram and TikTok as that. Also, we have a nonprofit, and that is the BLOC Foundation. So you can follow us there. Same BLOC, and it's the BLOC Foundation on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank y'all.
Thank you.
y'all.
Thanks for having us.
So again, I'm KP the Builder, Kelly Parker, whatever you want to call me, the twin with dreads. Thank y'all for tuning in, and see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. If you like today's episode, please share it with a friend or two, and please comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.